So you got yourself a DJI Avata, and you want to know what the next step is when you're done flying in normal mode and sports mode, and you've been flying in manual Acro, and you want to get a little crazier. Well, this video is for you. So you've got the Avata with the goggles, you've got the controller that comes with it, and you don't want to like dive into an FPV drone like that you build yourself because you don't want to get new goggles, you don't want to have to get a new controller. This right here by Emax, the Babyhawk 3.0, solves that issue. So if you're like me, you haven't done a whole lot with traditional FPV that you gotta build yourself. And the nice thing about this Babyhawk is it comes mostly built. When we open the box, you'll notice there's some reading material, as always, a bag of screws, and the propellers. But you'll also notice that the drone itself is a completely different look than a DJI FPV drone or the Avata. It's made with carbon fiber, it's pretty durable, which is gonna let you have a little more confidence when you're trying to get into more of an acrobatic or tighter kind of flying technique that you haven't really done with those other drones. Or maybe you haven't, maybe you have, I don't know. Now the only downside is that you are going to have to go and buy some different batteries, which I will link in the description below, as well as some kind of way to charge them. Now those batteries are not smart batteries like DJI makes, so you do sort of want to watch it when you're charging them, that you don't just leave them and you come back to a house fire, because these kind of LiPo batteries are a little bit more combustible than what you're probably used to with the DJI batteries. Now don't take me wrong, that like don't get all worried and think I'm gonna get these and my house is gonna blow up. That's not the case. If you're smart and you're doing it right and you're using a proper charger with the right voltage, no issues. Now that's not to say that DJI batteries can't be volatile also. I've just never heard of it. But the best thing is that if you already have one of these, this controller and these goggles are all you're gonna need besides a battery. For me, the whole reason I wanted this was because it works with the DJI goggles. It works with the DJI controller because I want less when I'm traveling, and this solves that issue. This is my typical FPV Avata bag setup. It's a Lykus bag. If you check the card there, I did a review about that and how just awesome this bag truly is for this setup. Now all I have to do is that, and I'm good to go. So binding this thing is actually pretty easy. It's just a button on the side of the Air unit, the button on the goggles, as well as the button on the controller. So as we got everything set up, it was good, almost good to go, that is. We couldn't get it to connect to my current version of the goggles. I have to upgrade my goggles firmware to tether to my phone. So now the big debate is, do we update these goggles or get the Integra where you don't have to have the phone connected? I guess we'll find out in, well, you'll find out right now. As you can see, there is no phone tethered, which means I found a workaround using the DJI Assistant 2 app to update the goggles, update my remote, but not update the Avata. One of the issues I was having before updating the goggles was that I couldn't get the goggles to connect to the Babyhawk 3 here. It turns out I also needed to hook this up to the DJI Assistant 2 app because the O3 unit in there, well, that needed to be activated. It's pretty easy to do. You just plug it in, click it, hit activate, and it's done. Now when you're done flying this and you want to switch back to your Avata, it's the same thing. You just hit the button on the goggles, the power button on the controller, as well as on the Avata, and then those resync. You can go through the goggles manually and switch the view. Now the Avata and the Babyhawk have the O3 unit on it, so they should have a very similar look with the cameras. There are adapters you can get to hook a GoPro, or in this case the Ace Pro by Insta360, up to your DJI Avata, as well as you can get something to be able to hook it up to the Babyhawk. The O3 unit is so nice that with a SD card in the slot, you can still record to the goggles just like you do when you're using the Avata. So I don't know if it's really necessary or not. I want to put some side-by-side footage up of the O3 unit that's in the Babyhawk, as well as the video that you get out of the Avata, to see how close they actually are to each other. One big difference is with the Avata, you can do horizon lock, fly it in normal and sports mode, and then go back into Acro, put it back into rock steady, where this you can turn rock steady off, or you can just have rock steady on. There is no horizontal lock on this like this, or if there is, I haven't found it. Now when I'm flying the Avata, I think of it more as cinematic footage instead of acro flippy flop stuff. That is what I use my Avata for, to fly in the mountains normally and get all these crazy shots. Then I feel more confident flying the Avata, one, because it's got the little prop guards, and two, just because it does have those emergency features that you can just hit pause and the thing just hovers right in place. You can throw it back into normal and fly it like a typical camera drone, and sometimes when I'm doing these cinematic shots, I don't want that rock steady. I want the horizon locked, and the Avata offers me all that. One of the reasons I'm so looking forward to the Babyhawk is because it is more of an acro style drone, and I don't do a lot of flying like that, and it's durable, and I can do more flippy flops, and I can really practice my skills flying all through these trees when I'm down here visiting Colorado Springs, which then I can bring into the way I fly my Avata. Not quite acro flippy floppy stuff. Feel more confident as I'm cutting in and out of those giant rocks and mountains. Getting this Babyhawk is going to up my flying skill. It's going to up my level and make me a better pilot for getting more cinematic, more just usable footage to put here on this channel. The user interface that you see in the goggles is very different what you see on the screen on the Babyhawk versus the Avata, so there is that learning curve. You also got to keep in mind there's no return to home. You are flying this thing the whole time. You cannot just switch it into normal mode and let it just hover. It doesn't work that way. One more huge thing that it doesn't have that the Avata does is it does not put the H on the screen, so you're not seeing your home points because there's no GPS in it. You have to have spatial awareness of where you're flying so that if you do go down, you gotta have some clue where it is so you can find it. I've been blabbering enough about the differences and how much fun this thing is. Let's go ahead and put some actual video edited together, clip after clip, between the Avata and the Babyhawk, and see if you can guess which one is which. And towards the end of each clip, look, I'm gonna put it right there. Have fun with that and stay tuned after that footage, and I'll tell you my final thoughts on everything. So how many of those did you get right? And be honest, because some of them, it's sort of hard to tell. Just let me know in the comments below if you did actually mix any of them up. That O3 sensor image is just as good, if not a little better to me, than the built-in camera on the Avata. Go to the link in the description below to go check out Emax and pick yourself up one of these. I flew the very original one of these when I was out visiting Kelly from Ready Set Drone years ago, and I've been wanting one ever since, but I hate having all the extra gear, and this solves that issue. This lets me use it with stuff I already have since I have the Avata set up, and it's just so easy to go back and forth once everything's set up. I'm loving this thing so much, it's really gonna just up my game. So if you haven't seen a lot of my footage already, make sure you stay subscribed because I mix drone content into almost all of my videos, even if the video's not about drones. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to subscribe, click the bell notification so you don't miss upcoming content. Check the merch store below so that you can get stuff like this and help support the channel. Thank you so much for those who do support the channel that way. And until next time, I'll be seeing you.